Constipated. Good morning, YouTubers. CRT Dump. What does it mean? I just watched a video talking about critical race theory. I was very impressed. The basic premise of critical race theory has some validity, which is that there will be always a certain discrimination, maybe, if you integrate the races. This idea that you can integrate the races and combine them into one big race. I would go further. I would say you really can't combine. It's a Marxist theory, so you really can't combine the integration of the rich and the poor. It doesn't work. People with a lot of wealth that are forced to live with people of poor resources will always take advantage of that. That's what wealth is for, taking advantage of the poor. So, if you take that to the racial element, specifically in the American situation, because there's a lot of different racial elements all over the world, and we can only speak about the ones we know, right? We don't really know what's going on in South Africa because we're not there. But if you take the racial element into it, well, hell, quite naturally in South Carolina when I was growing up, some black kids would go sit with the black kids at lunch, and white kids would sit with the white kids. It was a friend thing, you sat with your friends. There was some people that sat and mixed tables. It was rare. Maybe now. I mean, that was a long time ago. Maybe now it's changed. But it does seem a little bit forced, doesn't it? Especially on television and all that, it's quite forced. So critical race theory says no, you can't do that. You can't force people to integrate artificially, which is the premise I actually agree with. Having said that, the next step is, well, you have to make a reparation. You have to see a cat. You have to make a reparation. Where is she? Well, there she is. Hi there, kitty cat. She likes to watch me take a dump. I guess you guys do too. Anyways, the next step is you have to make reparation. You have to, fix the inequality in the racial divide. That's where we start getting into trouble. Because that means that you have to give it hard to the white kids and let the black kids be kings without too much effort, and that is not clever. It's actually quite foolish. The CRT talks about the fact that it's so institutionalized in our institutions that the racism, the white supremacy is prevalent. White people build the country, so it's natural that they would build it for white people or for black people. Black people were slaves. Just recently they got freed. So, so that would make a good case for Malcolm X's idea that living in a separate society would be preferable. Now, I agree with Michael X. I've actually agreed with Michael X all my life. I don't think people need to be forced into being integrated. If you don't want to live with somebody or around somebody, you shouldn't have to be doing it. That's a rich man. Rich people don't do that. Rich people can go anywhere they want. They're not bused to schools. We have private schools. They don't have to be integrated in zoning because they can move and buy a house anywhere they want, a big chateau somewhere in the mountain all by themselves. So once again, we're seeing the integration of poor white trash and poor black people forcefully, and that's where the clash begins. That's where you have the tension. That's where you have the rupture, and it's a social experiment. And the CRT people, who are Marxists, although they say they're not, but they are, see that as an opportunity to bring about a little bit of chaos into the democratic system, which is fine to them because they want to bring it down. Marxists wanted to bring down democracy. That's what they do. That's what they've always done. So they don't come up with a solution. I don't think I have one either. I mean, apartheid kind of worked for South Africa, but it was not very just for the black people because the resources were, concentrated in the hands of the white people. Apartheid kind of works for Israel, but it doesn't work for the Palestinians, does it? Human nature is the problem here. The big problem is human nature. You have people that don't like each other. In fact, last night we had a conversation with my friend Lucy and Majo and Rasa, talking about trans people and the fact that nobody likes trans people. The fact that everybody really hates trans people is a very discriminated group of people. So what do? My idea of a shaman arts. Hey, Louis, you got me on the shitter, man. Good morning. I'm still a little bit under the weather. I still have a little bit of. How you doing, Lou? What's going on with your old self? You're getting older, man. You're getting older and crankier, whiter. Look at this. So white, or it's gray hair. Well, not really gray. It's like grayish. Gray mustache. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, it's good to hear. It's good to see you checking in on me. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that a lot. I really appreciate you in every way. I think you're one of the awakened souls of our generation. And just use an awakened soul. 64, man. When are you coming yourself down here to Mexico, man? Mi casa su casa. Come down here, hang out with me. You look older than I do. I probably live better than you have, brother. Your drugs are too. Your drugs are not strong enough, so that's why. Yeah, I bet you do. That's about what you got to do. That's the job. That's the spirit of it. That's the. How are you doing with the DMT, by the way? Have you got any DMT out there? Have you got any 5-MeO DMT? Are you still active with the DMT? Because that's where I see this game going. I mean, psilocybin, mescaline, all that's fine, but DMT, man, that's the future of mankind. My grandkids. You got grandkids. Wow, I didn't know that. How many grandkids you got, Lou? How many grandkids you have? I have quite a few. Hey, Lou, since you're here and we're talking about CRT, what do you feel about this whole CRT business? What's your take on it? I saw a video. I was always opposed to it. I thought it was a bad idea. But I saw a video yesterday that really convinced me that it's actually probably a good idea. What about the mushrooms? What did you say about the mushrooms? Just really good acid mushrooms. Okay, you gotta get yourself some DMT, Lou. DMT is 3 and 9 year olds. Wow. You gotta get some DMT, Lou. That's where it's going. I mean, Joe Rogan, all the really cool cats, they're into the DMT scene. 5-MeO DMT, toad venom. Make yourself a trip down to Arizona. Um, Arizona, no, Colorado. Yeah, Arizona. Where's the Colorado River? It's in Arizona, right? Why do they call it the Colorado River if it's in Arizona? I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, no, ayahuasca, Lou. Go make yourself. I have a friend in Brazil. I'll hook you up with him, and go and self. Go and check it out. The ayahuasca is. I have all the mushrooms and acid. Yeah, man, but wait. Oh God, yeah. God, when it's stuck and it comes out, it's just pleasure. The pleasuring myself, taking a shit. Anyways, yeah, Lou, what do you think about CRT? What's your take on CRT? Critical race theory. I just saw a video I liked yesterday about it. That was DMT. CRT has been explained and documented in the musical genre called the blues. Oh, you brought music into it, brother. Yeah. CRT equals the blues. God damn, you're right, brother. Yowza. Yowza. The blues, man. Forgot the blues. Jazz. Jazz, man. Jazz. Yeah. Jazzing it out. See now, this is why I love you, Lou, because you bring just the right word to expand the whole thing into this huge cosmology of truth. You know, Louis, you got truth down. You got truth down. That's what you do. You're a truthful man. You're a truthful man, Lou. That's why I love you. If you guys are ever out there in Tampa Bay, check out Shaman Arts. He's my Negro. He's my guy. He's awesome. Blues is the healer. Yeah. Well, it's the crossroads music, Dog Man. What's his name? Fuck, the guy that actually invented the blues. He didn't invent it, but the guy that actually put it on the map. What's his name? The guy went down to the crossroads. Yeah, I love you too, brother. I love you too. God, since the Deoxy days, you're probably one of my oldest friends in the world, You're not as old as Nick Butler that I was in high school with, but I mean, of my ethogenic friends, of my druggy friends, of my trippy friends, you're probably one of the older ones. Robert Johnson, thank you, sir. Robert Johnson. Yeah, Robert Johnson and the Crossroads and the Devil and playing the blues on the guitar. Man, that explains the whole trip for me. The CRT trip is about the blues, man. You got it. You got it. And yeah, the blues was a separate and not equal thing. Metaphysical friends, yeah. Old soul, brother. Metaphysical friends. You know what we are, brother? We're the old man on the circle. The old man on the circle, brewing the pot, the big spoon, and we turn the spoon and we give it to the next guy, and he brews the spoon. You got to go down to Brazil, man. You got to meet José Pérez Rios. He's my ayahuasca teacher, and he brewed some good ayahuasca. And in the U.S., it has rules and bad and yeah, blues. They used to sing the blues down in the cotton fields. You know, that was what they did. They sang the blues in the cotton fields. So that's kind of what's going on here. It's it's the CRT, but it's cyclical. It's like you push, you shove, you push, you shove, you push, you shove. It's like a seesaw. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. You know, yeah. Fuck, Lou, you got it. You got it. It's a good dump. It's a good dump. Yeah. Yeah, I was always kind of thinking that the CRT thing was bullshit, but actually, now that I see it on the side of the blues, maybe it's got something to it. Problem is they export that shit to Europe and places where it has nothing to do. It's like CRT in South Africa, man, where they're killing whites instead of blacks. It's like no, no, that's an American experience. That's a purely American thing, and there's that little communist thing going. I'm not a communist, Lou. I don't like communists. I think communists are crazy. I like communes. No, I like communes. I've been to some good communes in my time. But I'm more communes more in the sense of Charlie Manson or Jim Jones maybe. I don't know. Communes more like more of a spiritual thing. The Sufis, the Sufis. Who else has good? The Hare Krishnas have good communes. Stuff that actually brings people really together in a kind of a mold and molds them to be part of that commune. BB King, yeah. I'm a big fan of BB King, man. Don't mess with the King. I love BB King. Yeah. Oh, the Robert Johnson's one that gets to my soul. Robert Johnson, man. His story is so true, His story is so true. Afraid of dogs, Dog Man. Dog Man Johnson. Yeah. What is it about dogs, anyways, Lou? I have cats. I have cats all over the place with dogs. And they're weird. My sister has dogs. Yeah. I still have some phlegm from some damn COVID or something. Shit. When was I out there in Tampa Bay? It was a long time ago, wasn't it? Like more than 10 years? 10 years or something? Maybe, I don't know. A long time. Those are interesting times. I found myself under a bridge in Tampa Bay, Clearwater, looking at the Katrina. See, 10, 12 years, that's what I thought. Looking at Katrina coming at me. And then it just turned around and went the other way. That was such a trip. All right, man. I love you. Hey, thanks for stopping by. And good dump with you. I'll be here if you need me. Trip high. Trip very high. Get you some DMT, man. Get some stuff. DMT is definitely... Get some DMT. Trust me on that. You'll thank me later. You'll thank me later, brother. Yeah, DMT. Get yourself some 5-MeO DMT, actually. Get yourself some 5-MeO DMT. That's even higher. Faster. Higher. Deeper. Lower. Higher. Lower. Stay healthy, yeah. Cool, Ben. Cool. You still got your old email, right? So I can probably find you over here and then YouTube, since you just posted here. Oh, you gotta get out of this stuff and get some coffee. Oh, I got to turn in this story. All right. So 20-minute dump, man. Been here 20 minutes in the shitter and still coming out. Sometimes you take an hour dump, depends on how dumpy you are. You gotta dump it all out. CRT. Yeah, I was fascinated by the subject. I was like, oh yeah, okay, CRT. Now I understand. Now I understand why it's not a bad idea. Idea that you have to integrate everybody and make them all into like one mold. That's just wrong. That's just wrong-headed. That's no, we're not. We're different, man. We're all different. Why try to fit a square object in a round hole? Check you on Twitter. Give me your Twitter handle, will you? Put it down somewhere on this video so that I don't think I have your Twitter handle. Is it just Shaman Arts maybe? But I don't think I have it. I've never got you. I've the ways I've gotten in touch with you have always been like Google Mail, like Gmail. So yeah, I'd love to check in with you. Dump some history on your way. The Community Urban Shaman on Twitter. Okay, cool. I'm in YouTube as ayahuasca CDMX, and ayahuasca is what I'm working on right now to create and to bring and to promote. Ayahuasca definitely is the medicine that could heal the world, but it needs to be industrially produced. And the ayahuasqueros down there saying, no, don't industrialize it. It's all going to be industrial. I see. You know what I see as the salvation of mankind, man? And I keep seeing it. It's a house, an apartment, or whatever, a living space with an aquarium and a family of toads in every home. Every home in the world should have a family of Colorado River toads living in their home. There should be like a weekly or a monthly maybe, bi-monthly or tri-monthly ritual with the toads, where the toads are the actual masters. It's their venom. They're the ones that are going to give you their venom to you. So so there should be like a ritual where you bring your toad and you massage your toad and you get your toad venom and you dry it in the sun, and then the whole family smokes it. It's like whole family smokes it, and then you don't have any more stupid people. Then you have just people that have a kind of connection with their higher self, for brief that it may be. At least they've opened the gate to see themselves as they really are. Maybe churches, maybe toad churches all over the place. I don't know. That would be the first place to start it. Maybe a toad in every home is a little bit ambitious, but I do see it as a symbiosis between toads and humans. Maybe a toad, maybe a snake, maybe a scorpion, some type of venomous animal living with you as part of your family. To realize that venom is medicine. To realize that we can all be shamans, and that would. I mean, Terence McKenna says that the mushroom spirit told him that they needed to bring down mankind to one child per family. Well, now the Chinese did that, didn't they? I would go further. I would say humans need to be symbiotic with some animal, some other species. We have cats and dogs, but they become like us. We don't become like them. They bring us companionship, but immediately we dress them up and we we take them to Beverly Hills. We take a Chihuahua, this feral, angry little dog, and turn him into a Beverly Hills celebrity. Something wrong with that. I think we need to go a little bit savager, a little bit more on the poisonous side. So imagine that, they do a lot of ceremonies with the rattles. Chaheka, my friend Chaheka is a venom specialist. He goes, and does all the different venoms: snake venom, toad venom, and yeah. The thing of having a venomous animal in your house is that you have to think of it differently. You have to totally reshape your way of thinking to be well with that animal. You have to be wiser. You have to be more in touch with the animal naturally, because otherwise you could get yourself killed, you know? So if you had humans at this stage of our development where we're industrialized and we have, all these cities and things, and instead of just having the humans watching television like fucking zombies, you have them taking care of a toad or a venomous toad or a venomous snake in an aquarium with the whole family. Yeah, sure, some of them may get bitten. Things, shit happens, but they would be aware. They would be awake. They would be aware and awake. I think that's a worthy goal. I think that's something that's worthwhile. I think that could be fun. Or at least a commune of venom specialists, a commune of toad people. Why not? They have it down in Sonora. They have the toad tribe. We need to bring the toad tribe out of the closet, so to speak. We need to get it out there, get the toad tribe to go to more homes, to elevate itself in position. The thing with the spiritual questers is that they combine everything. They don't focus. They're too. I mean, they start smoking pot, and that's the gateway drug, right? So they figured pot is not so bad, so let's try some LSD, let's try some mushrooms. Let's go into the. And then at the very end of the scale, when they finally figured all the drugs, they go to the venoms, because that's the ultimate drug is venom, I suppose. And the relationship is of party drugs. People are into party drugs. Drugs are not for partying; they're for healing. You don't go to party at a hospital if you have cancer. You go to heal your cancer. Is the party the answer? Is the music the ultimate drug? In a way, sure. In a way, it is, but strong medicine is strong medicine. Which, if you have heart condition, you have like high blood pressure, you're going to take some losartan or some, nifedipine, because that's what you need. If you have a stupid society, if you have a stupid world, you have a bunch of stupid people doing stupid things, you're going to give them something that makes them less stupid. Something that wakes them up to, their spiritual consciousness. Hence, mushrooms, peyote, toad venom. And you got to do it in such a way that it's not a party. It's a connection. It's a ritual. It's a healing process. It's a healing. You're healing people. Sure, you can have music. Music is definitely the best thing with psychedelics, right? But ultimately, it's not to party with, it's to heal. And you need a healer, you need a doctor, you need a shaman like you that is imparting that healing to the damaged souls that are coming for help. But if you're in the wild, if you're a hunter-gatherer, you gotta be your own healer. You gotta heal your own family if your kids get sick. And you're in the wild, you got to be able to deal with it. I don't know, I'm just jazzing on the shit. I'm just taking a shit, so don't take me too seriously. But that's what I would, just imagine a world where human beings have become symbiotic with toads. And the toads live in the space of the humans. And they're venomous toads, They can kill your cat. They can kill your dog. Your dog eats one of those toads, it's going to be dead. It's going to be a dead dog. So you have to be conscious of what you got in your house. You got this big old toad like this big old toad. And you have a nice big space for your toad family or your toad. You're going to have a lonely toad. You have a toad with a family of toads, At least one or two companions, I suppose. And the toad is part of your family. The toad is like your elder brother or your crazy uncle Toad. And the toad depends on you. You got to keep the toad, fed. You got to bring in mice. They eat mice. So you have to have a family of mice to feed the toad. Total symbiosis. A total natural process in your own house. And once a month, or twice a month, or once every 3 months, you ask the toad for a little venom. You coax the toad to give you some venom. And you get together with your family. And you pass the toad pipe. Smoke the toad pipe with the toad in front. The toad's going to be right there in the center of it. The center of it all. And you all go to see your spirit teachers. The Holy Spirit, Virgin Mary, whatever it is that you have to pay homage to when you get there to the other side. And you come back, and suddenly, see the world so stupid. The world a lot better, a lot clearer. That's what I see for the future of mankind. That's the hope that I see for mankind. That's the hope that I have for mankind. Can't go to the stars if we can't even deal with the species that we have on our own planet. We think ourselves kings of the earth. No. Talk to some toads before you go out there. Talk to some mushrooms. You got a toad in an aquarium, you got a mushroom farm. You got some pot plants. And now you have a home. Now you have a real home. Now you have a home where you can actually be proud of living in it. Not some damn, junky hole with a big TV screen with a bunch of cars in the garage. Back to nature, kids. We gotta go back to nature. We gotta return to our roots. Return to who we really are. And who we really are as gardeners. We are gardening. We are the gardeners of the Garden of Eden. We just kind of forgot it. Because we're still acting like hunter-gatherers. Except for the hunt is now we're hunting each other. We're hunting resources from each other. That's why we have wars and shit like that. And what we need to be is we need to be farmers. We need to plow the field, the spiritual field, We gotta till the spiritual earth. How is it possible that when you look, I go out on the rail, right? And I look out, and all I see is empty roofs. Well, one or two now actually are painting and making, beautiful out of them. one out of maybe every 400 or 500 has a garden on it. They have these big buckets. Buckets are full of earth, and they have, cactus. Like I have my garden back here. But one out of every 100. And humankind, we're gardeners. We're there to bring fruits out of the earth. That's what we should be doing. To help toads, to make toad ponds, to help, I don't know, the animals of the earth. Farmers also have cattle. They have farm animals. Why can't a toad be a farm animal? Why can't a snake be a farm animal? Farming snakes. There are snake farmers, actually. I've met a few snake farmers down in Arizona, New Mexico area. There's a lot of snakes. Snake venom farmers. They use them for the antidotes. So, and if you're in an apartment in a city, well, you can farm snails, which are good food. You can farm cockroaches, the big cockroaches, which are good food. They're like earth shrimp. They're like earthy shrimp. Anyways, crickets are great food. I love crickets. Fried crickets, man. I love fried crickets. Anyways, that's what I'm thinking about when I take a shit in the morning. Lou, thanks for coming by. You're a good man. You're a good man doing good work out there. Stay cool. And guys, thanks for coming. I'll see you in the next show. How are you? 37 minutes. I'm going to do 38 because it's a nicer number. So let's wait a few seconds. 4, 5, 6. Numerology, it should be one of the themes that I should talk about. The number game. 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, bye. Damn it.